Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of our program Languages of the World. Here we are once again for another episode of English, and as usual we've got some interesting stuff for you, so I hope that you keep following us for almost a half hour. Let me first welcome my guest, Ms. Heba. Hello Ms. Heba and welcome to the program.
Hi Yasser, how are you?
Let's talk about something interesting now. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, it's always interesting to talk about people who affected the world.
Yeah.
Actually, and those could be scientists, they could be explorers, they could be mathematicians. So I think those who are used to explore the world are the most adventurous and the most effective, like the scientists.
We learn a lot from history.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the most famous one is the one who explored the USA.
Yeah, the one who discovered
America. Yes, and by this one we mean Christopher Columbus. Yes, yeah. Actually, Christopher Columbus, he discovered America by chance, and it was not intended actually, but actually it was the result of his.
He was an explorer anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 to a family of wool weavers. You know, the wool weavers اللي هم النساجين الصوف يعني.
Yeah.
When he was a young man, he went to sea and became an experienced sailor. So first he was a sailor. Well, there's a day called Columbus, and it occurs annually every second Monday in October. He has been accredited for opening up the Americas to European colonization. So he opened this land for European colonization. He also was one of the few people who believed that the world was round, not flat.
Yeah.
So of course all the people in the past believed that the world is flat.
The earth.
Yeah, the earth is flat, but he was one of the few ones who believed that it was round, not flat. His first voyage in the Atlantic, it almost cost him his life. He was attacked by French pirates, and Columbus escaped by swimming to shore. The shore he swam to was Lisbon, Portugal, where he later met his future wife. So it was an adventure, and the shore he swam to was Portugal. Sailor Columbus, he traveled to Africa through many trading expeditions. So also from his tours or his expeditions traveling to Africa, he gained more knowledge of the Atlantic current flowing east and west with every journey. He knew about the water currents اللي هي تيار الماء in the Atlantic by going east and west. He traveled to India and China for trade, so he actually traveled all around the world. The route was dangerous because of war with the Middle East, but still he traveled. Led to thinking of a different route for going west to India and China. So because the route was dangerous, he started to think about another different route to go to India and China. So he continued to speak with the royal court. Numerous times during the war, he tried to convince the royal court to support his journey to find another route to go to China and India. He was well funded with 3 ships, so the royalty accepted his offer or his plea, and they gave him 3 ships. He left that August with permission of the courts. In 1492, he left in August with the permission, and he went to find another route. He departed on his first journey in search of a quicker route to Asia. Here Columbus takes leave of Ferdinand V and Isabella, the king and queen of Castile. These were the royal family. Then they sponsored his first expedition. Columbus was given 3 ships to sail across the ocean blue. He was given Santa Maria, Pinta, and Nina. These were the 3 ships he was given. And 36 days of sailing across the Atlantic, he landed not in the Americas, but the Bahamas. And there he met the local natives. And the local natives are the Indians, as we call them nowadays. He sailed from Spain with 3 ships, as we said, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And after sailing across the Atlantic Ocean for 10 weeks, he was sighted by a sailor named Rodrigo Bornajo. On his voyage, he encountered the islands which became known as the West Indies in the Caribbean city. His arrival, he arrived on October 12th, and his crew made their first landfall in the Americas on a small island in the Bahamas, as we said, in a solemn ceremony before an audience of uncomprehending islanders. So they made a ceremony for arriving, and of course the islanders or the native people didn't understand what they were doing. Columbus claimed the island for Spain and named it San Salvador, or Holy Savior. So he claimed the land to be for Spain. Were the natives attacking them? No, actually natives were timid but friendly. They didn't attack Columbus. They traded with Columbus and his crew. They started trading things. Columbus also noticed the golden jewelry that the natives were wearing, so they had gold. This foreshadowed catastrophic events that will come in the future, and of course other people, colonizations will come to take this gold, and this is what caused the war then. He built a village because the boat Santa Maria wrecked on the coast. He made a village. 39 men stayed behind to attend the town, to take care of the town, while 2 of the 3 ships, Nina and Pinta, returned to Spain. They brought the good news, thinking that they had reached Asia. When Columbus returned, he found out that the village he left behind was burned to the ground and the people were massacred. So actually, when he returned back again, he found that all the people were killed and his village was burned. He came back to further explore for gold along the land that he has come across, and his third voyage, he finally encountered the mainland, Venezuela. This was in his last voyage. The new settlers and crew claimed that they were misled and lied to with poor management, and they found that there is a mutiny against Columbus by his crew. Columbus was brought before court in chains and brought on trial. So now they took Columbus to court. The charges were eventually dropped, but Columbus was stripped of his title of the governor of the Indies, and his was last voyage. Few years later, Columbus convinced the king by using riches to persuade him to permit this voyage, even after all the trouble he had caused, and his last voyage was in 1502. And this was the tour of Columbus, actually.
Yeah, it's really amazing how some people have this sense of adventure that they can
all
do
his life.
anything, you know, they can risk their own lives just for the sake of finding out something new.
Yes, and of course, if you have read Gabler's Travels, I know that this was kind of adventurous journey for him.
Yeah. And it bore fruit, of course.
Of course, yes. And of course...
now the U.S. is super power, you know, the most superpower in the world.
And it was discovered by chance.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And think about the history, how many years backward.
Yes, that's right. But still, I don't think the USA has a very deep history, because it was kind of mixture of people, of nations, because of a lot of European colonizations in the USA.
Yeah.
So it is kind of mixture of nations and nationalities and languages. It was like this.
Yeah,
So,
a place
yes.
like this is called a melting pot.
Yes, it's a melting pot, and still it receives a lot of nationalities and a lot of languages. It is still a melting pot till now. Yes.
Yeah, this is really great. Of course, you know, the population of the U.S. is so large, and it's over 500 million, I guess.
And none of them are natives. They are all from all
Not
over
none
the
of
world.
them, but yeah, perhaps
Few of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
the majority.
The majority are British people, actually. The majority is British people who moved to America when it was discovered. Irish people, British, and the Africans came with the, you know, the slavery movement. So yes, it came long ago from different nations, and now Asians, are a lot of Asians in America, not to mention the Arabs.
Yeah.
So yes, it's melting pot for all the nations.
Yeah. This is really great. What are we gonna do next?
Actually, I have something funny.
Funny.
For you. Yeah, funny. And you know, some people think that pronouncing English is very hard. but it could be funny also. Sometimes when you pronounce two excessive words or something, you feel like your tongue is twisted.
Yeah.
So what I have now for
Tongue
you...
twisters?
Yes, tongue twisters. And they are so funny.
So tongue twisters are perhaps phrases that, you know, that are hard to pronounce because of the similarity of the sounds in the words that are in it. So let's see. I mean, I know some of them, but let me see what you have here.
We will start by the most famous one.
Yeah.
Which is
ship.
She sold.
She sold seashells by the seashore.
Okay, I'll read it slowly first.
She sells seashells.
Yeah. She sells seashells by the seashore. means that بتبيع الأصداف في البحر على شط البحر. The shells she sells are surely seashells. وأكيد الأصداف دي تنتمي للبحر. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells. فلو هي بتبيع shells على seashore, فأكيد هي بتبيع الshells بتاعت الseashore.
Perhaps pronouncing it only once is okay, but to go on and repeat it, this is really hard.
Yeah, very hard. Just she sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells.
Yeah. Do you include the one which is goes like cats catch mice, but mice don't catch cats?
No, I don't have that. I have things like swan swam
over the sea.
Okay,
say this one. Cats catch mice, but mice don't catch cats.
Cats catch mice, but mice don't catch cats?
Yeah.
I can say it. Yeah. I can say it. But of course, if you say it quickly, you will mispronounce things, which is funny. But these tongue twisters are very important. They are not just make you laugh, but they practice your pronunciation for certain sounds.
And in every language we have tongue twisters.
Of course. Like,
do you remember anything in Arabic?
In Arabic, actually no. No, I'm not used to Arabic tongue twisters.
Something like something like this.
The same, actually the same sound like the S and sh sound.
Yeah.
But this is considered for fun, not for practicing any pronunciation. But in English, we have this tongue twisters to pronounce where sounds like the and the. Like when I say whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we will be together, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. So these are things that you can pronounce to practice your the sound or your B, like Betty bought butter, but the butter.
And it kind of shows how your pronunciation has improved.
Exactly, especially with the P and the B. You can practice the B sound with something like the tongue twister, funny, and it's like a song that you can repeat and you can memorize, so that whenever you want to practice that, you can repeat this. We have here Betty bought butter, but the butter was bitter, so Betty bought butter to make the bitter butter better. So here also the vowels, bitter, butter, better. The I and the U and the E. So also it's very nice to practice with the kids, especially. Because
and
it's
of course,
so boring.
It also differs from, the different varieties of dialects. For example, better and butter in British English, be'a, ba'a, something like this.
Yeah, but we are sticking to the standard pronunciation, and it is funnier for kids to know or to learn pronunciation this way than the boring way of pronounce it like this and like that. So yes. I love tongue twisters. Yeah. Always funny.
Yeah. Okay. Try to invent some.
I don't invent these things, but I have something nice like 3 gray geese in the green grass grazing. Gray were the geese and green were the grass. Here's we pronouncing the g sound. Okay, this is nice. And also the S. Swan swam over the sea. Swim, swan, swim. Swan swam back again with swam, swan. So here also we are practicing the vowels, the A and the U and the I together. So yes, very nice. A flea and a fly flew up in the flue. Said the flea, let us fly. Said the fly, let us flee. So they flew through a flow in the flue. So here we are practicing again the vowels with the consonant F. So yes, I love tongue twisters.
Yeah.
Do you have
more?
something? Actually, yeah, we have Susan shines shoes and socks. Socks and shoes shine Susan. She sees shining shoes and socks. For shoes and socks, shock Susan. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Yes, it is.
It's a great exercise, you know,
Yeah, for
on
pronunciation, it's great.
the vowels. Yeah.
And there's one about the P, but actually I don't have it here. Pepper, Peter, pepper, piping, pepper, something like that. And this is good for practicing the P, actually. I use it all the time.
Yeah. This is really fun. What else are we going to do?
Actually, if we can start a bit of grammar, but we will continue. Next time I want to give them...
Yeah, we can have a bit of grammar.
I want to give them a little view about something called subject-verb agreement.
Yeah.
And what the meaning of agreement? Agreement means اتفاق.
They go together.
Yeah, they go together. Because a lot of times I face a lot of mistakes in when the subject or the doer of the action doesn't agree with the verb.
Yeah.
For example, when they say she do or he or something like this. It's
Perhaps
totally
even native speakers sometimes make
the songs,
such
actually,
mistakes.
In the songs, you can't imagine that in the songs they do it. I have heard it myself that he do or he don't, and I was shocked by hearing.
But sometimes, I mean, it's more difficult when it comes to, let us say, nouns that could be mixed up. Are they plural? Are they singular? Like, for example, talking about family, do we say family is or family are? You know, something like
yes,
this.
of course, there are rules for this subject-verb agreement because there are some, you know, tricky things. But in general, you have to know that the singular or the one takes S with the verb in the present. It takes is, it takes does, it takes was.
For example, a lot of native Arabic speakers, when they learn English, they sometimes say the police is, because in Arabic we say shorta, you know.
Yeah.
But they say police is, but actually it's police are. It's
Because
like people.
members, yes, because there are people in it. Well, the subject-verb agreement has a lot of rules. Do we have time for
But
one or two?
we have to say that it's much easier than other languages like Spanish, Italian, French.
Tell me about German.
Yeah.
Yes,
German as well.
English is far easier than German.
Because actually, you know, in English it's only one word, and there is nothing related to feminine, for it being feminine or masculine.
Exactly.
You know, plural feminine or plural masculine. In other languages,
exactly.
this is so hard.
English is the easiest. I can tell you, I've gone through the French and the Spanish and now the German, and the three are not as easy as English. Maybe the easiest after the English is the Spanish, but the English still the easiest language.
Yeah. All right. But I have to know that English, you know, is a richer language when it comes to vocabulary and, you know, like the literary language.
Yes, we have a lot of synonyms for the same word, but for example,
idioms, phrasal verbs.
Yes, we have a lot. But for example, in German, and I'm speaking about it because I'm learning it now, you can have one word that means a lot. One word means a lot.
Deutsch?
Yeah. In a lot of cases, one word can mean different meanings.
Yeah.
Why? They don't have this amount of vocabulary, actually.
In English also, I mean, the subjunctive case, for example, is not that hard.
Yes.
You know, but in other languages,
yes, it
the
is.
subjunctive.
French.
Yeah,
Yes.
French, Italian, Spanish, German, dative in Spanish, I guess.
Yes, yes. So English is great, people. Go ahead and learn it.
Yeah.
So, do we have time for any rules of the subject-verb agreement?
Let's talk about a bit of it.
Okay. Okay, we can say that the first rule is that the plural nouns usually end in S. Thank you. And the singular verbs usually end in S. And this gets people a lot mixed up because they think that as the plural nouns end in S, so the verb should end in S, which is no, the opposite. If there's a plural noun end in S, or it is a plural noun, not necessarily end in S, so the verb never takes an S.
Yeah, but sometimes, for example, when we talk about everybody or
No, this is singular.
you know, this is singular. Say everybody is, not
we will
everybody.
go through this.
Yeah.
Maybe now, maybe the next episode, but we will go through this rule. We have singular subjects need singular verbs. And by singular verbs, we mean that the verb takes S in the present simple if it is singular, like he or she or it. Like, for example, when I say he washes the dishes, I can't say he washed the dishes. It's wrong. It is a singular. He is one person or one thing. And, of course, the verb should take an S.
But I could say, I suggest he wash the dishes.
This is another rule because you get the infinitive after suggest.
This is a subjunctive here.
Yes, something else. Okay, don't let them get confused. A girl in my neighborhood plays in the band. So although the subject is far away from the verb, a girl is the subject, and I just said in my neighborhood. I can put as many words as I want, but still, who is the subject? The girl plays in the band. So yes, again, it is a singular subject that takes a singular verb with an S. The plural subjects need plural verbs, and by plural verbs we mean no S in the verb. Like they wash the dishes. I never say they washes the dishes. No. Several girls in my neighborhood play in the band. And here I mentioned several, like many, and by this I mean a lot. Another rule: don't determine the number of a subject by a word in a phrase or clause following the subject. This means that the subject could have another word that is different in number, like the apartments here across the street. Which is the subject here, apartments or street? Is the apartments.
Yeah.
So I have to get the verb following apartments, not the street. The apartments across the street. Now, some people are confused and they think that the verb should follow the street. No, the street is not the subject. The subject here are what? The apartments. So the apartments across the street, do or does? Of course do. Do have balconies. So this is my subject, plural. So it takes a plural verb, which is do.
And do here is used for emphasis.
Yes, exactly. Do have something. Ellie, one of my friends. So here, the verb goes after friends, follow friends, or follow Ellie. Of course, it will follow Ellie. Ellie is the subject. One of my friends is just describing who is Ellie. So Ellie, one of my friends, was late, not where, of course. Then we have the planes pulling up to the gate. So here, the verb doesn't follow gate, it follows the planes. The planes pulling up to the gate, of course, were purchased by a movie company, and purchase means تم شرائها. So here, singular subject should have a singular verb with an S, while plural subjects should have a plural verb without an S.
Actually, a lot of people find this hard, actually, so whenever they say something like he, she, or it, or names related to that,
Yes.
To add the S to verbs. But actually, the good news is if you practice the language, if you read a lot, if you listen a lot, this will come out naturally.
And it's only in the present case.
Yeah.
It's not in the old tenses.
And it's not like Arabic. I mean, imagine a foreigner learning our language, or let's say a non-native
It would be the hardest
Arabic,
ever. The hardest, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
They find it so hard to master the conjugation of verbs.
Every verb follows each subject.
Yeah.
Whether it is one, singular, double, okay.
Feminine, masculine, plural,
yes.
feminine, plural, masculine.
Arabic grammar is the hardest ever, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I hope that by following us you get good ideas about actually mastering the English language. You know, they say that nothing is easy, but again, the more you work, the more you understand, and the more you become much better using English. And as they say, practice makes perfect. So the key word here is practice. And another also thing which is very important is exposure. This is actually the key word toward mastering any language. Expose yourself to the language. All right, make it part of your everyday life. By doing so, you know, after a while you'll be much better and you'll be able to speak this very important language easily. Actually, English is the second most popular language around the world, just after Chinese. You know, in China,
because
you know, because they have more people, you know. But again, and one of the interesting thing I learned about English is that people who learn English around the world are greater in number than the native speakers themselves.
Yeah, that's right, of course.
Yeah. All right, I'd like to thank you very much, Ms. Heba, for being with us and for this great episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching us, and we'll be meeting you again next week, inshallah. So until then, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.